Hello, folks. We have the budget coming up for you in a short while. People are on. We're going to, quickly run through everything in the budget. So, firstly, this is Deepak Shenoy from Capital Mind. I am going to take you through some of these things that have been discussed in the budget. It was one of the most boring budgets I've been on, which is good because the older you get, the less excited you want to get with things like budgets. But also the fact that they didn't raise taxes, they didn't do something dramatically stupid. But I'll tell you the overall impact first. The first impact is the stock market's closed up 1.5% on the Nifty, 1.8% on the next 50, I think. So stock market seem to like it so far. Bond markets seem to hate it. And I'll show you quickly what the bond markets have done. Bond markets in India, and we'll just switch to the screen which shows you the bond markets. Here you go. Yeah, well, you can see it here. This is CCIL India, and I'm just going to broaden up the screen so you can see this. You got the 2032 bond, which is something that tells you what it's the most traded bond. The new 10-year bond right now. There's a new benchmark. It used to be trading at 6.868% yesterday, 6.82% today, which means prices have fallen roughly by maybe 1%. That means all your bond funds, all your the funds on the that you have as long-term bonds, gilts, corporate bond funds, all of them will show negative returns today. The positive returns will probably come from the ultra short term kind of funds, because those yields are still 3.35. So somebody wants overnight money is getting money at 3.35. Somebody, the government that wants 10-year money is getting at 6.82, which is one of the largest differences we've seen. That difference is actually widened further today. Foreign exchange shows the USD INR at roughly 74.82. So not much. It's gone down by 17%, which means 17. It was 74.65. It's gone to 74.82. There's not a huge change. Typically not such a big deal. Let me go back to me. And the interesting thing right now is we've got a budget. Let's talk about the three things that are of matter to you. Firstly, nothing changes on taxes at all. For you, I mean, of course, unless you're crypto, which many of you are not. And can I think some of the questions are, I want 1 crore rupees. So if you get 1 crore rupees in crypto, you get 70 lakh rupees because it's a crypto tax. We'll talk about that. But mainly, if I were to look at the something called the memorandum, and we can just talk about how that works. But first, let me just take you through the slide. Can you see this? Yes, you can. So you got a scheme for the taxation of virtual digital assets. This has been defined as literally anything, but mostly something that's harvested through cryptocurrency, cryptography, which applies to wallets or digital assets that are located in wallets. The idea over here is whenever you get paid for transferring a digital asset. Now, whether that payment is by exchanging a digital as one kind of digital asset for another, or it is by virtue of you're selling it on an exchange and getting maybe taking it out as INR, whatever it is, it's considered a transfer. This is not the 5 p.m. video. We're just testing this out before we get to the 5 p.m. Thing. That 5 p.m. thing is very restricted. This is more a generic thing. So if you look at what this news section says, it's the 115 BBH section that says 30% will be charged from all crypto from all crypto sales or transfers. Now, the word transfer is ambiguous in the sense that anytime you do a transfer to somebody else from a place A to B, unless that place B is your own account, it is considered a transfer. So, in my understanding, if you exchange one cryptocurrency for another or sell it for USD or INR, you effectively pay 30% tax on the profits. There's another section of this which says you have to they will have to put 1%. Well, it's not in this particular screen, but 1% of whatever the sale value is, the exchange, the participant in this case may have to deduct a 1% TDS on the total value of the sale. So if I sell one Bitcoin for 37,000 or $38,000, then $380 has to be taken out. It's the sale value, not the profits, because obviously the seller does not, a platform does not know how much profit you actually made. So they take that 1%, they deposit it in the government as TDS. Of course, if you actually make losses in crypto, technically they can be offset against each other, but just the crypto, you can't offset crypto losses against capital gains or against house sales or salary income or anything like that. So crypto transactions can only be offset losses against each other in the same financial year. You can't carry forward a crypto loss. So they've effectively tax crypto. This is the first thing that we want to know. This does not mean it's legal. It just means that even if you make money illegally, you're taxed, right? So um, uh, technically, the income tax department has said, I don't care what this whole thing is, but pay us tax. Second part of this whole thing, and we'll go to that part, is something around bonus stripping, and we'll just take this immediately here. Bonus stripping is, well, where are we now? Here, well, we have to go a little bit up. Um, yeah, clause 84. Yeah. So, um, bonus stripping. Yeah, here you go. So this essentially means that there was a section 94. It's complicated. There was section 94.6 and section 94.7. Section 94 had its clause that said bonus stripping, which means if you buy a company's shares before the bonus and sell it immediately after the bonus, um, you don't have to pay any tax on I'm sorry, you don't have to pay any extra tax. So what happens is the first transaction, which is assumed to be bought before bonus, and we'll go through this in more detail at a later point. But if you go into more, if you buy a share and it goes up X bonus, that means for one share you get two shares. The first share is bought pre-bonus. The second share is assumed to be bought at zero. But if you sell those shares within a period, I think the period is 3 months or 9 months. I'm not sure about the difference. But if you sell that within that time, then the entire transaction is considered that there was none of this differentiation will apply. So that means bonus stripping is not going to be applicable from April 1st, 2022 onwards. This is interesting because it kind of changes tax planning for a lot of HNIs. People who are making extremely large amounts of money, this wouldn't have applied anyways, but now it is no longer applicable even for the smaller people like us. So little disappointing there, but overall, let's look at a quick note on the budget. I'm going to quickly take you through this part. I hope you can see this. So, if you look at the budget as a glance, largely the government has made or will make, was supposed to make 17.88 lakh crores in revenues from taxes, about 15 odd lakh crores, non-tax revenue about 243. Now they're actually estimating that, oh, we got it wrong last year. We were too conservative and we're making 17 lakh 65,000, which is roughly 2 lakh crore more. That means about 12 to 13% more than what we expected. So they're making that much more. Also in non-tax revenue, from instead of 2 lakh 43, they're planning to make 3 lakh 13. So that's another 30% more. So they made more in taxes. They've spent relatively the same amount. They expected to spend about 35 lakh crores. They spent about 37. So a little bit 2 lakh crores extra there also. So the if you look at the overall fiscal deficit, the expectation was 15 lakh crores. It's actually ending up close to 16 lakh crores this year. They're not going to borrow a whole lot more. So they expected to borrow a fairly large chunk from the market, but it seems that some part of it has been coming through other sources of revenue. So they were able to do this. Now, if you look at the deficit statistics, how did they finance this? They were supposed to finance it using 9 lakh crores of market borrowings. This 9 lakh crores of market borrowings has actually not happened or will not happen. This will only be 8.75 lakh crores of market borrowing. That is the current situation. What has happened? What has changed? Instead of 4 lakh crores going to these PPF, EPF, PPF and not EPF, but post office savings and all that stuff. You got about nearly 6 lakh crores, nearly 2 lakh crores more came from there. So they need to borrow less from the market. Um, Next year, they plan to borrow 11.6 lakh crores from the market alone, which is significantly higher. From 9.6, it's gone up to 11.6. Significant borrowing from the market. They're not assuming as much coming in from PPF and post office. The revenue that estimates that they're showing also, if you look at the revenue estimates, they're saying that our revenue is going to go up, tax revenue is going to go up about another 2 lakh crores, which again, and the non-tax revenue is only 2,69,000 crores, which is less because they have an LIC IPO and a BPCL sale. All of these look like they will yield much more. So it looks like the numbers they have are relatively conservative. They're expecting to borrow total 16.5 lakh, out of which 11 lakh crores will come from bonds. That's why the bond market felt so miserable today. Um, Okay, quick questions I want to take. It's just crypto exchange um, uh, transfer from one exchange to the other come under 30% tax? No, I mean, I think it does because unless you can prove, of course, that the wallet that you're transferring is yourself, which is fine, I think. But then inside the exchange, you don't really have a wallet, right? You just have an account. So maybe there's a way to prove that. Maybe they'll create a concept called a verified exchange where the KYC is done, and only then you're able to transfer, and that transfer is not considered to be taxable if the KYC is done on both ends. We don't know. Staking is, again, when you stake, you typically put your money into some kind of a pool, and that pool gives you some kind of a token, and then your crypto goes away from you. You have a token instead, right? So you actually got compensated for transferring one asset by another asset. So technically, that transfer can be taxable. um, मेरा cred coin virtual digital asset. I love that. I don't know if that's a credit. I think Kural Shah could like double his valuation from a startup by just calling cred digital asset. उस पे 30% tax देना पड़ेगा तेरे को. So सोचो. But I don't think so. I don't know. I have no idea. Can you buy credit coins from some other people? I don't know. If you pay for it, I am sure then that the tax man will get ideas. आई एम श्योर दे आर ऑल्सो लाइक सुपर एक्साइटेड कि ये हेलो ये क्या है. हम लोग तो पहले लोगों को सर्च एंड सीजर करते थे, अभी तो सिर्फ ब्लॉकचेन एनालाइज करना पड़ेगा, सबका मिल जाएगा सब कुछ. एक बार तुम्हारे वॉलेट का पता लग जाए, ऑल योर ट्रांजैक्शंस आर टैक्सेबल इमीडिएटली एज सून एज यू सेल देम. सो life is good. Well, you'll have multiple wallets, one wallet on one chain, one wallet on another chain, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Digital assets include digital gold. I don't know. I think digital gold is more like a placeholder for actual real gold. So it may not be. It's just a represent. That's like saying your demat statement is a digital asset. It's not, because you actually own underlying shares, which are also digital, but they are actually shares, securities, rather than digital assets. This is specifically, I think they've called digital assets some cryptography say generated kind of thing. So I think that's what it is. And okay, last small thing that I think they did mention in the budget and may not be so important anymore, is that if you have long-term capital gains, when it came, so what happens in the income tax act is that if you make more than 50 lakhs, then your surcharge goes up. If you make more than 1 crore, then surcharge goes up. But this going up is limited in certain cases. Dividend, the max surcharge is 50%. Long-term capital gains on shares, the max surcharge is 15%. So that means if you have 10% tax, its maximum surcharge is 15% more. So that means 11.5%. But if you sold a startup before it was listed, then you paid 20% tax, but 20% tax could get as much as 37% surcharge because it was not earlier included. So now they've said all long-term capital gains, no matter whether you sell it on gold, property, unlisted shares, US listed shares, could be, the max surcharge is 15%, which is good for some people, I guess, but also great for startups who get acquired because they don't pay. So if you pay 20% tax, you pay 28% because of the 37% surcharge, right? So you effectively pay 28%, which is quite a lot. Now you'll pay 23 and little change. So That I think is a good thing, merely to reduce the overall tax rate for startups. Otherwise, there's nothing in it for no. So the light on taxation for being an LP, depending on what kind of an LP you are. If you're an institutional LP, you may have a different taxation regime because of when you invested and where you invested from, and whether it was a tax distinct asset. So there was a bunch of things around assets bought below before 2017. So if a venture investor invested before 2017 and they'd come from either Singapore, Mauritius, or Cyprus, depending on the year at which they came, there is no capital gains on that transaction. But if they brought in money afterwards, 2017 to 2019, there's a 50% tax. After 2019, there's a 100% tax, and that 100% tax means if India is charging 20%, then they pay the whole 20%. They pay 50% means 20% ka instead of 20%, they'll be 10. Now, the surcharge is applied anyways, I think. So the LP is effectively equal in this case to this. But then there are lots of different tax rates. I'm not sure how but the surcharge would have applied universally. This surcharge no longer applies. Depends on how the LP is structured. If you're an individual, you get different. If you're a company, you get a different rate. If you're a trust, you get a different rate, and so on. Can CM gift one Bitcoin every Diwali? Yeah, we'll consider it, but because of the taxes now, we can't take the tax risk. So therefore, otherwise we would have been able to do it. But this is okay. Can the centralized exchanges charge this tax? Of course, I think. Well, all exchanges have know exactly who you are. So if you're from India, they can charge that tax anytime you sell. And remember, this 1% is on the total sale value. Okay, it's not like on the profit you make. So you buy for 36,000 and you sell for 36,400. That 360 rupees will go off as tax. So you will get nothing more than that. So $360 rather. So all of the $360 will be paid into your Indian account. Now, how they'll do it, I have no idea. But I assume they'll take it out from your account, convert it to rupees, pay it, and then I don't know how that whole structure works. Oh, sorry, LP. Oh, I keep forgetting these crypto. They redefine all the liquidity provider. Yeah, a liquidity provider in a decentralized. What does LP do? They what? They give stuff. So if you're typically giving something and taking a token in exchange, that is equivalent to a transfer, because you're getting something in exchange for giving, which is effectively a transfer. If you lose the rights to your ownership for any purpose, it is effectively a sell, uh, uh, according to the income tax department. So you lost your right because you give away your right to the coin as soon as you transfer it away from your wallet. So therefore, it's a sale. You get another token back, and then you return the token, and then you buy it back again. But on that sale, you will pay the tax of whatever your earning was at some point. So it's going to be fun to see. But let's kind of stop here because I have no idea what happens. This is the first time I'm trying StreamYard, and we're trying to set this whole thing up. So we thought we'll say hello and just do the budget thing, rough summary. I'll leave you with this. There was nothing important in the budget, but I had a long Twitter thread, which I think you should all see because I spend most of my morning on it. Therefore, please see it. Like it if you like it, but see it anyways. And we'll have more articles and thoughts, and we have a premium uh, webinar starting soon, so we'll do more discussions in detail on that very soon. So coming back to this, we will end broadcast right now, but I will be back with more. Cheers, enjoy.